Don't leave these things to chance on your next cruise. Welcome back to Why We Buy It. I'm Amy.
I'm Cobe, and this is our top 5 things to do before you go on your next cruise.
In no particular order, we're going to give you our top 5, and I'm going to start with visa requirements because that's a popular one, I should say.
Yeah, and we actually have a bit of a horror story when it concerns visa requirements, because on our last cruise, one of the stops was in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And Canadians require a visa for Vietnam, but don't kid yourself. We require visas for almost everywhere now. It's become a money grab.
Yeah. But
according to the Vietnam website, it took up to 7 days to get your visa. It actually took us close to 6 weeks.
Yeah. It was, like, thank God Cobe always does his research and does everything like way ahead of time, which I highly recommend you guys do as well. But there were people that were waiting at the queue to get onto the ship, waiting.
The embarkation point.
Yeah, still waiting for their visas to come in because they did it within like 2 weeks of the ship.
Expecting it to be there, but it was so Mickey Mouse. We had to send multiple, like the same information multiple times. We had to send it to different emails in order to get it all done. And luckily it was done. But get your visas in order as early as possible. Like, for instance, we're Canadian, and beginning this year, you require a visa as a Canadian to go to England.
Yeah, which is weird. That's
we're
never been
a Commonwealth country, and we require a visa to go to England now. So imagine, I mean, we're Canadians, so we're loved everywhere, but we require visas. Imagine if you're from somewhere like Nigeria, how difficult it could be to get a visa. So get that done early. Yeah. All right, what's the next one?
Let's go with the apps. And downloading apps ahead of time is essential. And it honestly, it helps you get a feel for how the apps work. Now, I'm going to say this as, the apps you have to download for whichever particular cruise you're going to go on, transportation, so when we were in Thailand, we used the Grab.
Yeah, we're using Uber, but they have Grab.
They have Grab. So, we like to download the apps early and kind of get a feel for how they work. Like, do they work the same as an Uber, or is it a little bit different? How safe is it, right?
Airline apps are another one you want to consider.
Oh, definitely.
So this hasn't happened to us, but this happened to friends of ours, and they were recently on a discount flight to somewhere, and the in-flight entertainment was not built into the seat rest like it is on the majority of planes you ride. It's actually built into the app. So if you didn't have the app, you didn't have in-flight entertainment.
Yeah, and they didn't find out till they got on the flight, and then they didn't even have Wi-Fi available to them. So,
So you want to get the apps for everything you're going to end up doing downloaded to your phone, and you want to get a feel for them. You want to play around with them and such, and just navigate them so that when the time comes you actually have to use them,
you're not struggling.
Yeah,
right?
You're ready to do it.
Yeah.
What's next?
What's next? Big one, weight of your luggage. Now, there's so many restrictions when it comes to the weight of your luggage, right? You have to have a 50-pound max on your actual luggage. Your carry-on, I think it's like 8 kilos now. You can double check that if I'm wrong. But here's the thing that people don't factor in, right? We always try and make sure we're under the weight requirements by just a smidge, right? Just so we don't get hammered with those extra fees, because those are ridiculous. But a lot of people don't factor in, hey, like, you might buy something, right? And you might buy something that's heavy. The one thing that we made the mistake of is we went to Thailand. Thailand is like the best place to buy clothing. And we went,
on the cheap.
Yeah.
Right? Very inexpensive clothing is available in Thailand and Vietnam.
Yeah, we didn't give ourselves enough space in our carry-on or our luggage to buy as much as I wanted to buy.
Yeah, it wasn't about weight, it was about space.
Yeah.
Right? So you want to factor that in if you're going somewhere you actually plan on buying something.
Yeah.
Right? So that's something you want to consider, especially if you're going somewhere where you know the shopping is fantastic. Give yourself a little extra room in the luggage. Give yourself a weight buffer, so that you can come back with
know what you want to buy, have an idea of what you want to buy when you get there, so don't pack it,
right? And in the case of going somewhere like we'll be going to Turkey soon, if you're going somewhere like Thailand or Vietnam, Argentina, what have you, you could go the option of leaving room for an additional check-on bag.
Yeah.
Because you can buy bags or luggage there so cheap.
Yep.
Right? So cheap.
Which we should have done.
That you could go there with, say, like the two of us go there with one check-on bag and come back with 2 check-on bags. Because generally speaking, each of you are allowed a check-on bag.
Right.
So that's the other option you can go with as well. But consider that before you go, because you don't want to find out while you're there, like we did, like, oh, we didn't leave enough space for half the things we want to buy, and you end up having to leave stuff behind.
That's right.
Right?
This one to me is a little bit obvious, but check for the weather of your destinations. We did our South America cruise. So we started in Argentina, we ended in Chile, but then we also went to Antarctica. So we had hot weather going a little bit further into the colder weather, back into the super hot weather. So make sure you plan accordingly to the temperatures that are going to be arriving at each destination.
Yeah, it didn't happen to us because we were prepared, but there were other people we were with on tours in, Patagonia that were freezing because we said, why aren't you wearing a jacket? And they're like, well, we thought we're down south. It was going to be hot.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but we're way down south. It never gets that hot in Antarctica, but they didn't factor that in.
No.
They really didn't think about it. So you do want to look at the weather ahead of time. And we're not just talking temperature. Maybe it's a rainy season. You're going to want to have something with the hood or windbreaker. You're going to want to have portable umbrellas.
Bright and sunny only 5 minutes ago. And then we saw one cloud in the sky and boom! Instant monsoon. That's Thailand.
Maybe there's the chance for high winds where you're going.
Yeah.
So you want a windbreaker or something like that. But factor that in. Know that ahead of time so that you're not forced to maybe buy something while you're there or suffer through it.
Yeah, right. And not get sick.
Yeah.
Because who wants that? The next one for us is actually a biggie, and it's to figure out how far the ports are from major cities or major attractions.
This one's huge.
Yeah.
This one's huge because quite often they'll list the port as the closest major city.
Yep.
But that's not actually the port. There's a lot of, like in the Mediterranean especially, our next trip's going to be there as well. When it says, next stop, Rome, it isn't Rome.
No.
It's Civitavecchia.
Yeah.
Right? That's where it is. And Civitavecchia is like an hour and a half.
Away from Rome.
From Rome.
Yeah.
Provided it's not rush hour.
Yeah.
Right? So, for instance, our last time in Rome, we took a cab. Right? We booked a cab for the day.
Yeah.
Now, to get into Rome took us about an hour and 20 minutes or so.
Roughly.
But to get back took us 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because just to get out of the city at the time of day when it's rush hour, anybody who's been to Rome knows the traffic gets crazy.
It's kind of like being here in Toronto. It's like everyone always makes the joke like it takes you an hour and a half to get from one side of Toronto to the other, right? It's the same in Rome. It's like you gotta factor in.
It's not as bad as Toronto.
No,
it's bad.
it's bad.
Right, it's bad,
right?
but you got to factor that in to get back to the ship.
Yeah.
And same thing with we were recently in to Bangkok.
Yeah.
You don't actually, when it says Bangkok's your next stop, it's not Bangkok, it's Lam Chabang.
Yeah.
And Lam Chabang is like an hour and 15 minutes into Bangkok with no traffic.
Yeah.
But then it's crazy coming back depending where you are in Bangkok, because Bangkok is crazier actually than Toronto. So getting from one side of Bangkok to the other, could be an hour itself.
Yeah.
That could be an hour.
Yeah, and that's driving, right? That's not taking their transit, because I think their transit system might be a little bit better.
But you still got to get from Bangkok to Lam Chabang.
Yeah.
Right? So again, coming back took quite a long time. Now, granted, we had an overnight stay in Bangkok.
Yeah, so we didn't have to rush back to our ship.
We didn't have to rush back because we went there the first day.
Yeah.
So we didn't even have to get back, realistically. But the next day, what we did was we planned it out that the second day we were there, where you do have to get back, we went to Pattaya.
Yeah.
Because Pattaya is only about 20 minutes away in their shuttles.
Yeah, constant ones.
Right.
And they know, and they're I think they were connected with the ship, the shuttles. So they said, you have to catch this shuttle back.
Here's our last shuttle.
Yeah, or you're going to miss your ship. So, that one, we're like, okay, we'll do that second. So we guarantee ourselves to get back to the ship on time.
That's right. But why did we do that? We did that because we know how far Lam Chabang is from Bangkok.
Yeah.
Right? So knowing the distances from the ports to the major attractions to where you want to go is key.
Yeah.
That also might be the deciding factor as to whether or not you do your own thing,
or you take
you book a private shore excursion, or you do one of the shore excursions with the ship.
Yeah.
Because they can't get you back late. If they do, the ship waits.
Yes.
So there's no arriving late with a ship's shore excursion.
Correct.
Right? So whenever you got to travel, like some cases 2 hours from the ship location to where you're going, maybe book a shore excursion with the ship. Sure, it costs a little bit more, but you're guaranteed that they can't pull away on you.
That's right. And
Right? So that's a big one.
that's a big one. And that's our top 5, guys. I hope this helps. Till next time, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you on the next one.
And consider becoming a member.
Oh, yes.
Okay, we got our member side of our channel open. We haven't talked about it much, but it's about time we did, because we're going to offer some additional videos there, which we've already started uploading.
Yeah.
You get some like pictures and such in the moment, right? So instead of waiting until we get back from our next cruise, you're actually going to be able to see some of the places we visit while we're on the cruise. That's a bonus for you. We do some exclusive shorts for our basic members and some exclusive videos for our Uber fans. But trust me, all the content that goes on there is going to be worth it.
Yeah.
We're not going to put as much effort into editing it and such. It's more of a behind the scenes type thing.
Yeah.
But you'll get a chance to enjoy that. And if there's something you think we should add to this particular list, something that you always do before you go on your next cruise,
Let us know.
let us know in the comments. And the next time we do one of these, maybe we'll be a top 10 using some of the comments that you guys suggested.
Till next time.
Take it easy.
Bye.